So the final step here is to skin the head. So if you select the Zombie 01 model, go back into the Modify panel, hit Edit Envelopes. We can highlight the head bone from the bone list, and you'll see that not many vertices are assigned to it. So we're just going to select a whole bunch of the vertices around the top of the head, and we're just going to grow that selection out a bit. We don't want to get too many vertices from the neck, just want to get basically the entire head down to the jaw, all weighted to the head bone, since the majority of that is going to be correct. So once you've got all of the back of the scalp and the front of the jaw, the forehead all selected, just hit 1 to weight that fully to the head. So you should have all of the vertices around the underside of the mouth as well. We might want to grab this loop and weight that as well, so we can blend it with the neck later. And the next thing we can do is skin the teeth. These are going to be quite easy. We only need to skin the lower teeth, and they're going to be fully weighted to the jaw. So if you highlight the jawbone from the bone list, turn on wireframe mode so that you can see the vertices of the lower teeth model, and they end up here. So if you just select any vertex from that part of the mesh, you can just click grow until it's expanded to select the whole object, and now we can just weight that fully to the jawbone. And the next easy one to weight is the eye. If you just select the vertex in the center of the eyeball, you can just grow that selection again to select the whole eyeball. And if you just highlight the eye right joint, you can just hit 1 to weight that fully to the eye joint. The next part we're going to need to do is the neck. So if you highlight the neck bone from the bone list, you should be able to see what's already weighted there. We'll turn back smooth and highlights so we can see what we're doing a bit easier. And if you just select this whole loop here, you can weight this fully to the neck. The loop above should also be weighted fully to the neck. You'll need to add the vertices at the back to the selection, since the loop doesn't extend fully around parts which have triangles. That should be the neck fairly smoothly weighted. We need to blend that now with the spine and the shoulder areas. So if you loop select the vertex loop below and just weight that 0.5, that should do quite well. If we want to test how this is deforming, going to exit Edit Envelopes again, turn on Auto Key, select the neck control box, this is just here, and then we'll go into Rotate mode, again select Local, and we're just going to go to frame 10, as usual, rotate it to the right, go to frame 20, rotate it to the left, and we might also want to give that a bit of tilt as well, just to see how that works. And we can also animate the head while it's moving. Go to frame 10, maybe tilt that a bit, rotate it further. You can see the neck is distorting a bit. We'll fix that in a minute when we can preview it. And back on frame 20, we can just rotate the head a bit further to match that movement, and maybe look up some more. Again, it's about testing the extremes of the motion, so try and give this a keyframe on the parts that you think will be the most extreme movements that the joints will be able to perform. So now we've got some good poses to test with. We'll go back to frame 0, go back into Edit Envelopes mode, and see how that's deforming. From the looks of things, we might actually want to weight this loop slightly less towards the neck, so let's try 0.25 And it looks like we might actually want to weight this loop more towards the spine as well. So if you highlight the spine 2 joint and weight that 0.25, you should see that the neck looks a lot smoother when it's deforming now. The next part we need to take care of is the jaw. So we're going to turn off edit envelopes, select the jaw controller, and in rotate mode turn on auto key, and we'll just open the jaw really wide on frame 20. And if we go back to frame 0, it should be fully closed. And currently, since the only part that's weighted to the jaw is the teeth, they're the only part which will move. You can see them starting to move there as the mouth opens a bit wider. And so if we want to test this, we're going to have to start weighting vertices to the jawbone. So if you just highlight the jawbone from the list, there's nothing weighted to it at the moment. We'll start just by selecting a vertex in the middle of the chin, using the grow button to just expand that selection out a bit. That looks like a pretty good range of vertices. So if we just click 1 there, you'll see what happens. We need a little extra from these parts. Just select those 3, grow that selection, and weight that one as well. And for the parts inside the mouth, we want to start blending the weights a bit. 0.9 there, 0.75 for these in the back of the mouth, and all around the inside of the mouth, a weight of 0.5 should do quite well. And to blend it even further, maybe a weight of 0.25 at the top here. So the inside of the mouth should deform quite well now as the mouth opens. Obviously the sides of the cheeks are stretching quite a lot, and we need to blend it back with the neck. So we'll just select all of the vertices under the ears and weight those fully towards the jawbone. And the next part we're going to have to do is just blend the cheeks so that they look a lot smoother when the mouth opens. This is another useful time for our test poses. We can move the slider backwards and forwards to see how that's changing. So we'll just select all the vertices around the cheek area here and just weight them first of all fully to the jaw, and then second of all, if you highlight the head bone, put them at 0.5, you'll see that that's a much better average of the positions. The next thing we can do is select these vertices below and just weight those 0.25 to the head to blend them as well. So the entire bottom of the jaw is opening and it's stretching the cheeks as it opens. We want to blend that around the mouth as well. So if you just select the vertices around the edges of the lips, highlight the jawbone, put those to 0.5 as well, and around the bottom of the mouth, select the edges of the lips and put those vertices to 0.25 after highlighting the head bone. We get a bit more natural shape. We probably even want to put these vertices to about 0.1 just to help those blend a bit smoother. And you see, as I'm weighting it, the positions are updating, so I can really easily see what the changes are occurring. And I want to blend these vertices around the top of the lips and the cheek with the jaw as well. So I'll just select those, highlight the jawbone, and set those to 0.25. If you think 0.25 is a bit too much, we could try scaling back using the minus button. That possibly looks a bit better, around 0.15. And that means these vertices here are probably going to look quite good, around 0.1. So if we just weight those there, maybe even subtract one, and you can see the shape update in real time, so you can keep an eye on that, and as long as it's looking natural, you know it'll look fine when it's actually animated. So now the last part we need to do is just fix the weights between the jaw and the neck. So we're going to select this loop underneath the jaw, not including the ear. Just going to subtract those selected verts there, and highlight the head, because we actually want to weight this back a bit more towards the head as well as the neck. Let's try 0.5, see how that looks as he opens his jaw. That looks okay, but obviously the neck needs some fixing. We'll actually highlight the neck bone now and add a weight of 0.25 here. We don't want too much weight on the neck, or else it'll look very strange when the jaw is all the way open. We actually probably want more weight on the jaw here, so let's just put it back to 0.5. We'll also want to highlight the vertices at the front of the neck here and let them go back a bit as well with the jaw. So we'll just weight those 0.25 towards the jaw. That already looks a lot more natural. If we really want to blend it smoothly, we can just set these to 0.1 as well. And that should be quite good, the overall range of motion. And you can see there that that's holding up quite well as the mouth is opening and closing. So if we go back to frame 0 here, leave edit envelopes, make sure we've saved the file. Since we've essentially finished skinning now, you can actually do what you want with this model. So we can see the range of motion by just sliding along between frames 0 and 20. If we wanted, we could try moving any of these other controllers, the auto key turned on, just so we can see exactly how it's all working together, making sure everything is skinned correctly. So we could move all the arms, the legs, rotate the fingers. Remember, when you're moving the arms as well, the realism comes when you actually move the clavicle as the arm rotates. So we'll just rotate this up a bit. And you can see the shoulder moving realistically there, applying the movement of the muscles and the bones. And as you move the slider, you'll see everything deforming quite smoothly, quite naturally. We can even rotate his body, his hips, the whole thing. And then as you move the slider, you'll see it all update. So if you wanted, from here, you could save this file as a copy and start making your own set of animations. The next part we'll come to is actually exporting everything we've set up here and putting it into the game, so you can see your guy actually running around and being animated and deforming correctly with the skin weights we've set up here.